All right, well, I'm gonna go ahead and get started with some announcements. So I'm Dr. Tano. I'm coordinating these webinars. So I'm glad. Thank you for everyone who's tuning in and watching. I hope that you guys like them. I hope you like our topics. Just a couple of things. If you could make sure that you're on mute, that would be great, so that we don't hear background noise. And then some of you have asked about upcoming lectures. We do have 2 lectures next week. Next Wednesday is Dr. Brooks, is one of our dermatologists, is going to talk about some signs of skin cancer. And next Friday, Dr. McConnell, who's one of our sleep doctors, is going to talk about insomnia in COVID. And so you should have gotten an email from Privia about that schedule for next week with some links. If you did not, check with them and make sure, but maybe check your spam files as well. And then Kathy Kemper-Dean, who's on the screen, is going to show you where to find this information in case for some reason you don't get your email. So Kathy, can you bring up the website? So here, if you go to our homepage, you just put in, if you just Google RIMG, Rockville Internal Medicine Group, you'll find it. But go to our website, and then can you scroll down a little bit? Up a little bit. Right there. So on the that box there on the left, new COVID related RIMG webinars, read more. Click on that. And that's where you can see any upcoming webinars that should get posted if you scroll, and that has the links. And then also there at the bottom are the archived ones. So if you're looking for slides from previous ones, that's where we're posting them. We will be posting videos on YouTube, but we're still trying to figure out some snafus with that. So stay tuned for next week. Lectures coming up. But today we have Kathy Kemper-Dean. She's one of our nurse practitioners at Olney, and she is going to do a webinar today on starting a home exercise program. Going to do for both, I believe, beginners and a little more advanced people, combination of videos and demos. So we are very excited to see this. And then feel free to submit questions to the Q&A section of your webinar, and I'll take those as we go or at the end if it seems like a good time. And then just remember that anything that you post on there, we read aloud, so don't post anything too personal. And the chat section is public for everyone who's on the webinar to see. So you might want to stick to the QA section if you can. And then also the previous webinars, as I just said, should be recorded. They are recorded. We're just trying to figure out where to post them. But we have about 65 people on the call, so I think we can go ahead and get started, Kathy.
Awesome. Hello, everyone. Isn't this the perfect day to discuss starting an exercise program at home? Such great rain. As my grandmother used to say, this is great weather just for ducks. So my name is Kathy Kemper-Dean, as Dr. Tano said. I'm the nurse practitioner at the Olney office. I work with Dr. Hankin and Patel, and I've been a member of the team for about 10 years. I am joined by my niece Julia today to help me with some of the camera work. She's a millennial and she can help me pass some of these technical difficulties. She graduated from Duke University last year and is in the midst of a year of internships. And she was 1 week into an internship on Capitol Hill when the pandemic restrictions hit. So we've been fortunate enough to have her here with us. Here, pop over. Just, you won't be able to see yourself, but say hi. Hi. That's Julia. So we're talking to you from my basement today, because what better place to start an exercise program? My colleagues have presented some fabulous webinar presentations, and I'm just like the rest of you. This time of quarantine has been challenging to my routine as well as your routine. And if you had any activity or exercise routine that you had aspired to or even established, that probably just went out the door. Whether you've not been active before, or whether your usual routine was totally disrupted, I'm going to try and give you some ideas about what to do now. Today's presentation will be interactive, so you can try some new moves with me, and then we'll have some time for question and answer at the end. After we chat a bit, I'll be demonstrating 3 sets of exercises. I'm going to use some online videos so you can become aware of resources available to you if you start to search on the web. I want us to do some of the exercises together, and I was going to say, hey, put on some comfortable clothes, but I think that's what we're living these days. So just wear what you're wearing. And when I demonstrate the routine of those, for those of you that are new to exercise, you will need a straight back chair. So try to make sure that you have that available. And you can grab that now because I'll be introducing things for a few minutes. Next, if you're already exercising, I'm going to be talking about outdoor exercise and the coronavirus and how to stay safe, as well as to demonstrate 3 exercises that I believe can enhance anyone's current workout routine. And finally, I'll demonstrate a simple stretching routine. So if you've been teleworking, it'll work out those kinks that seem to set in place. So I think everyone will be able to find something in what we're doing today. So a little bit about me. I have stopped and started multiple exercise routines in my lifetime, so I'm the perfect person to talk to you. I was a swimmer as a kid, but I really came to an athletic lifestyle as an adult. I met a guy, isn't it always a guy, that got me into long distance cycling in college, and he got me on my first bike. From there, I was an outdoor educator for teenagers. I went to the National Outdoor Leadership School, and I did all sorts of hiking and rock climbing and camping, and I taught environmental protection and leadership. Then I had a family and things quieted down, so I was running and I did some shorter triathlons. Now that my kids are grown, I have a workout routine where I do a morning boot camp and yoga, and then I do some indoor rock climbing with my husband. The quarantine has upended all of that, and I confess I've spent more time on my couch binge watching Netflix shows with Julia. I can tell you about some really trashy shows rather than exercising. So I too am sorting out how to refocus on being active as this unknown timeline persists. Now, we can all agree physical activity is important for aerobic endurance, muscle strengthening, bone strengthening, and we can also agree that physical activity has a positive impact on mood, sense of wellness, and body image. Our goal, all of our goal, is 150 minutes of exercise a week. Sounds like a lot, but when you break it down, that's 5 30-minute sessions, 5, or 3 50-minute sessions, and that's our goal. It can be a mix of things. It doesn't have to be all hard. It can be a mix of walking and weights and yoga. It just has to be consistent and active. So let's talk about your individual approach to creating a physical activity program. My husband's a Marine, so we have acronyms for everything. And so I came up with an acronym to start you as on a process in focusing on this. So MOVE, isn't that perfect? MOVE, M for motivation, to be on it with vision and enthusiasm. So what does that break down to? M, decide your motivation. Do you just want to move? Are you experiencing some pain, some arthritic pain, some muscle pain that would improve with movement? Do you want to lose weight? Do you want to improve your heart health? Me, I'm stressed, I'm not eating well, so establishing an exercise routine in my basement refocuses me on wellness, feeling better, and healthier decisions. O, to be on it, to make a plan. Decide what you'll do, and it has to be something you'll enjoy. Do you want to stretch? Do you just want to move in a chair? Do you want to dance? Do you want to do some power moves? Routine for early morning workouts with a group of friends. I've had to reestablish now. I'm totally unscheduled, so I have to kind of be outdoors with some free online exercise classes. V, visualize your new exercise life by determining cues. So when I close my laptop and I shut off the TV at the end of the day and I focus on what my plan is, my cue is, I find if I pull my hair into a ponytail and I throw on a baseball cap and I put on my running shoes, I feel like I'm in a different place. You have to figure out what your cues are going to be. What will tell you this is the time. This is the time to exercise. So, E, decide what will inspire you. What will trigger enthusiasm for you? Are you inspired to get up and move with music? Are you a social athlete so you need to grab someone in the house or phone a friend? Are you truly disciplined, and if you schedule it, it will get done, so put it on the calendar? Do you need to set an end goal to work towards? You know, there are a lot of virtual races that are still running. If you set a 5K and you do a couch to 5K program, will that work for you? I'm doing 2 things. I'm doing a mix of online exercises, and I'm doing some trail hikes with my dogs. So take a moment now. Think about this. Move. What is your personal motivation? How will you be on it? What is your plan? Visualize your cues. What do you need to do to tell yourself, now's my time to exercise? And how will you generate your own enthusiasm? Who will you connect with? What will you turn on? How will you do this? If you want to chat about that some more, reach me by portal message, and I'm happy to get you started. Now, I'd like to demonstrate 3 basic workouts, and I'm going to mix in some videos. One will be for the rookie, the person just starting out, the person that may even need a little assistance to be active. The second will be some additional exercises to refocus someone that had a blip, lost their routine, needs to refocus. Remember, we all have the same goal of a minimum of 150 exercises a week. And the third is an exercise with some stretching so that we can work out the kinks. So for you rookies, now that you got your chair with a straight back, I love this startup workout that was posted from Holy Cross Hospital. It's on Facebook. You can pull it up yourself. It's a 3-minute routine. And so I want us to do it together. So get set, pull up your cue. What are you going to do? And I am going to share my screen. And we are going to do this together.
Hello, did you know that you can get a full cardio workout at home using only a sturdy chair? My goal today is to encourage physical and mental wellness while you're navigating life during the COVID-19 pandemic. Let's begin by positioning ourselves correctly. Go ahead and sit in the middle section of your chair, shoulder in line with your hips, pull your abdominal muscles in, and lift your chest. Go ahead and start marching. During this 3-minute segment, feel free at any time to increase the intensity of the movements by making them larger and or faster. If you need to decrease the intensity of the movements, just use your arms or legs or decrease the speed of the movements. Each exercise will last approximately 15 seconds. We're going to begin with leg extension. 2, 1, here we go. Just extend those legs out in front. We want to go to full extension. Try to avoid locking that knee. You're going to feel those quadricep muscles contract. In 5 seconds, we're going to move to just jab arms. And 3, 2, 1, arms up. We're going to jab up in front. This is a great stress reducer. Keep going. Again, full extension. Try not to lock those elbows. In 5 seconds, we're going to combine arms and legs. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. We're going to extend that leg and punch those arms. Again, this is your workout. So if you want to do just arms or legs, that is fine. Keep going. In 5 seconds, we're going to take it back to a march. And 3, 2, 1, march it out. So you probably feel your heart rate increase a little bit now, your respiratory rate, your body temperature. That's okay. Keep going. As long as you can talk, you're in a good zone. Keep going. We're going to move on to side taps. And 3, 2, 1. Tap it out. Tap it out right here. Keep going. 15 seconds. Pulling those abdominal muscles. Lift that chest. In 5 seconds, we're going to take it to cross punches. And 3, 2, 1. Bring it here. Arms up. Cross. Rotate through that torso. Feel those abdominal muscles contract along your sides. In 5 seconds, we're going to combine these movements. And 3, 2, 1. Here we go. Cross punch, side tap. Again, your workout. If you want to do just arms or just legs, that is okay. You've got 5 more seconds. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. March it out. We're coming to the finish line. 15 seconds. If you want to challenge yourself and take it to a double time run, that's great. If you want to keep that silent march going, that is great as well. Stay with it. 3, 2, 1. You did it. Nice job. Thank you so much for joining me today and taking the time to improve your physical and mental health. I look forward to seeing you in the future. Take care and keep moving.
Well, that was fun. So I'd like to add a few additional exercises to what you were just doing. So, sorry, I'm trying to apologize. Little glitch. Fix it. Sorry, 1 second. Guess I got.
There's one thing I know about being a woman on TV is that you can't have
roots.
Oops.
You're a man on TV. You can have any old
I
kind of hair you
apologize.
want.
I'm trying to
You
figure
can
out what's
have
going on. For my own exercises.
Doing okay there?
We're stuck. So I'm going to show you a few exercises that I think would be helpful in addition to those. So if you're new to exercise, a moderate abdominal crunch. Your chair, your arms are behind your head, and you're going to simply fold forward and fold back. So you're hitching at the hips and coming down and leaning back. You're keeping your head and your spine straight. So you're engaging your abdominal muscles to move. And so I'd like you to try that with me. So arms behind your head, come forward, hinging at the hips, and lift back nice and slow. And you should feel your abdominal muscles engaged. That's 2. We're going to do 5. That's 3. That's 4. And that's 5. The next thing I'd like you to work on is, and I apologize if I'm not fully on the screen, we're having a little technical difficulty, but it's going to be a squat from your chair. And so if you're sitting straight in your chair and your feet are on the floor, all you're going to be doing is keeping your hands here, standing up, and sitting down. And standing.
If you want, you can move your chair back a little more, and then we can see.
I want you to try that with me. And we're going to do 2 more and 1 more. And that's excellent. If you're able to do that, you're developing your gluteal and your hamstring muscles, and that'll make sure that we're all better positioned and not as wobbly in case of any risks for falls. The last exercise I'd like to show you is if you stand behind your chair and your feet are again firmly planted on the floor, you're going to raise up on your toes and down, and up and down. So I'd like you to try that with me, because what we're doing is we're working on ankle stability, which is also extremely important. I tend to have weak ankles, so this is the exercise for me. It also helps with my calf cramps at night. And then if you get good enough at 2, I want you to try 1. So you would keep 1 foot on the floor, the other leg bent, and you'd go up on 1 leg and down. Let's do that 3 times on this leg, 3rd time on the right. And let's switch to the left leg. So again, left foot on the floor, bend your right leg, and you're going to come up on your toes and down and up and down, and 1 more and down. So if you did that 3-minute aerobic exercise along with those 3 additional more calisthenic exercises, you'd be working towards establishing a program you could build on from there. So that's what I'd like to suggest that all the rookies try to build towards. Are we able to come back? No. Hey, what if I do that? Oh, I lost. Okay. So give me 1 second. Again, we're having a little technical difficulty. For the active runners, so all the gyms closed. We were forced to come up with something new to do. And it's hard to figure out with all the guidance that's being given currently, how best to exercise outdoors with the coronavirus. And there's been a lot of misinformation out there. So I wanted to give you just a little bit of guidance. As you know, the CDC has said that if you're going to be out in crowds, you should be wearing some kind of face mask or face cover. And that is to protect other people from you, as well as to limit your exposure to sick people. And so we typically talk about that in grocery stores and pharmacies. So the face coverings are not a substitute for social distancing, so you still should be trying to maintain yourself apart from people. So if you're not wearing it correctly, it's also not helpful. So I've seen a lot of people going around with just masks right below their nose, and then they're still got some respiratory droplets. So if you're going to wear something while you're exercising, wearing a buff or another moisture wicking material can be helpful. However, some people, when they get into some of their exercise, are concerned that it's difficult for them to breathe. If you're going to try to exercise outdoors and you can social distance, then you may not need a mask, right? You need to use some common sense. So if you're going to go very early in the morning when no one else is out, and perhaps in an area where there's less foot traffic, then you're going to be protecting yourself. People have also asked me about spitting, or no, you shouldn't be doing any of the spitting or sending any respiratory droplets anywhere. The goal is to protect yourself and others. Socially distance at least 6 feet. Wear a mask if it makes sense. Don't exercise outdoors if you're sick. The virus is highly contagious and you can't be too careful. And whatever you do, wash your hands when you get home. If you've been working out at home, there's a lot of great online classes, and I think you probably have discovered many of them. With Pop Sugar, or Adidas for Women, Yoga with Adrian. Even my climbing gym has a YouTube channel that's devoted to training, and I can post a list for you to check out. You can also pay for classes, right? Most CrossFit gyms are posting their workouts of the day, Orange Theory, Down Dog, they all have classes. My family has started a new routine. We jump rope for 2 minutes, then we plank for 2 minutes, then we jump rope for 2 minutes, and then we do one-legged squats for 2 minutes, 1 minute on each side, and go off and do our individual routines. So I would like to suggest 3 exercises that you add to whatever you're doing at home if you've already been exercising that will enhance your fitness. And you may have guessed it, planks. I love planks so much. Planks are a great all-over conditioning exercise, much more effective than abdominal crunches. And in fact, the Marine Corps went from abdominal crunches to doing planks because of that. They think it's a better measure of fitness. So the plank goal is 1 minute for passing and 4 minutes, 20 seconds for a perfect score. So working up towards 4 minutes is a great fitness goal. The hardest thing to remember with a plank is a proper form so you don't tweak your back. So what I'd like to do now, you guessed it, is a video to...
Hi, I'm Amy Dixon.
Sorry. Show you a video with some proper modifications and some proper form guidance for you. And you are welcome to join us as we do planks together. So this is from Bowflex, and I love them.
Bowflex Fitness Advisor, and this is plank.
All right. Hold on. Didn't share. I'm not in there anymore. It says shared.
We can see your screen.
Okay. Thank you. Okay, here we go. Planks.
For beginners. So I'm going to show you a few different types of planks. Stephanie will come on down into a forearm plank. So this is the most regressed version of the plank that you can do on your forearms. Form is crucial here. So shoulders are directly over your elbows, hands are in a nice extension, and you're finding length from your tailbone all the way to the crown of the head. This exercise really fires up the core. And when I talk about the core, it's not just your abdominals. It includes your abdominals, your back, your hips, and your shoulders and your chest. Great job, Stephanie. Now, to amp this up, once you have this mastered, simply tuck the toes under and lift the knees off of the mat. So this exercise, once you can do this for about a minute, feel free to progress to the next one. But think about the form here. It's exactly the same. You're still creating length in the spine, energy throughout now the back of the feet, and still length through the spine from the top of the head through the tailbone. Form is flawless. Great job. And now we're going to progress it. So you can go ahead, take a second, stretch a little. The next plank is a straight arm plank. So starting on the knees, same thing. You always have your knees to come back to. From here, form, it's all about stacking the joints. So shoulders directly over the wrists, arms are long and straight, spine is long again, crown of the head, tailbone, same exact rules. Fantastic job. Once you've mastered this, tuck the toes under, lift the hips off, and now you have a full plank. And this is where we execute push-ups, where we can just hold the plank and do a lot of different variations. But for now, we're keeping it simple. Form is exactly the same. Energy in the core. Once you can hold this, stick it. Hold it for about a minute. Now, I'm going to show you one last plank variation, which is a side plank. It's done quite a bit, keeping it on that elbow and on the forearm there. So, shoulder here, stacked directly over the elbow, hips on the floor and stacked at first, knees are stacked. So everything's in alignment, including the shoulders. Now go ahead, Stephanie, lift the hips off. This exercise is really challenging. It changes because you're on your side now. You're going to be activating a bit more of the side body than usual, but you're still working. Hold it right there. Focus on your breath. Alignment through the spine is exactly the same. Tailbone to the crown of the head. And now, once you've mastered this, let's take it one step further. So legs now are going to become straight. You're going to extend the legs. You can cross the top leg over. Hips stay lifted. Joints stay stacked. So hip over hip, shoulder over shoulder. You can extend the arm, reaching through the fingertips. And notice how Stephanie's keeping that beautiful long line from the tailbone all the way to the crown of the head. Now that's the side plank. Of course you would do it on the other side. Great work. And there you have it. Planks for beginners.
I just want to have our abs, right? So that is all of our goal, working towards 4 minutes of planks. Just imagine how fit you would be if you were able to add that into your routine. The second one that I would like to suggest that that the active people, exercisers start to do. Hold on. Sorry. Escape.
You're doing great.
I know, I just can't get it to go away. Let's go this. I'm going to lose everything again, but that's fine. We'll work it out. Is a Spider-Man lunge. So the issue with most of us that have been exercising is that our hip flexors get extremely tight, which then causes us pain and then starts running us into some issues in terms of our backs. And so what I find is the Spider-Man lunge stretch is not only great for core work, but also opens up your hip flexors. So hold on 1 second and I will pull that up as a demonstration. And again, if you want to do it while they're doing it, we can all join Bowflex. This is going to be from a group called sorry.
You're the new heart failure patient. How do you know that? Well, I heard.
So let me share my screen again. I think it's the sharing the screen that locks it all in place, but that's okay. So this is how to do a Spider-Man lunge.
Hi, I'm Mike, and this is Courtney. We're here at the Leap Training Center in Santa Monica. Today we're going to show you the Spider-Man stretch with T-spine mobility. So we're going to have Courtney get down to the push-up position, and she's going to bring her right leg up to her hands, making sure that she keeps her right heel on the ground. She's going to raise her right arm, look up to her fingers, and she's going to raise her left arm, look up to her fingers. Then she's going to switch legs, making sure that left heel stays in the ground, reach and look, and looking at the fingers again. So you have to do multiple reps, about 6 to 8 reps on this. Is great for opening up the hips and loosening up the T-spine. And that's good. This is Courtney. You can subscribe to our channel for more videos. From everyone at Leap, thanks for stopping by.
What you may notice is that is a double whammy, right? You get a plank and a Spider-Man stretch at the same time, which is awesome. Then the third and last stretch, and you should have been anticipating this. You know I'm going to add this in. You love them, you hate them, but they're the best exercise for core mobility, overall fitness. Julia, what am I going to be talking about?
Go Flex Fit.
The burpee. So I've been doing them for a while, and I re-looked at this video last night, and I realized I don't have great form, so I want to share this with you as well. And if you want to get out of your seat to try it along, that would be fun too. So hang on one second, and here we go.
Fitness advisor, this is burpees for beginners. Burpee, we all love to hate. We love them because they work. We hate them because they're hard, but we want to do them. We want to do them right. Lisa's going to demonstrate. Here's how a beginner would do it. She's going to take her time. She's going to break it down. Dropping, kicking the legs out, coming back, and just stepping up. She's going to do that slowly, just getting used to the motion. Then she's going to take it up a notch, adding in a push-up and a plyometric jump. So here's the full burpee, dropping, and then really getting some air, putting in the push-up element and the plyometric element. And there you have it. Start slowly, start with the beginner, and build up to that.
So I love that demonstration because I think it gives you a great modification and a place to start. So that's also Bowflex. I think that can be really helpful if you're trying to remind yourself what good technique is. So if you add those to your routine, planks working up from 1 to 4 minutes, Spider-Man lunges for a minute, burpees for a minute, you'll notice an improvement in your fitness, even if you're already active and athletic. So last piece I'm going to go over is some stretches for a long day of teleworking at home. And so what I will do, I've got 5 stretches for you. I will demonstrate them. And I know we've been sitting a bit, so let's do these together. So the first stretch your chair, you're on your sit.
Kathy, I think we're having connection issues.
And then you're going to dip. So do that. What? So, can you hear me now?
We can hear you, but we can't. We lost video there for a moment. It's saying there's some low bandwidth.
Here, let me move a little bit over here.
Yeah, maybe just try. Just can you do that move again for everyone?
Sure. Sorry. So, so you're seated in your chair, and so you're again supported well. Reach your hands straight out in front of you, right? Dip your neck down, and you're just trying to stretch this whole area. And you'll take a deep breath in and breathe out, and then drop your hands. So let's try that again. So straight in front of you, hands clasped. Dip your neck down, take a deep breath in and out. And what that is stretching out is those tense muscles you're getting in your back and over the tops of your shoulders. Then for the next stretch, you're going to reach behind your back and you're going to do your opposing muscles. Okay, so you're going to reach your hands down behind you and pull forward. And what you're doing is stretching out these muscles. So you've stretched out the muscles in the back. Now we're doing the opposing muscles, and you just bend forward, hinging at the hips, and just feel the stretch in the top part of your back and neck. And then release. And let's do that again. So reach back behind you, holding onto the chair, come forward, and release. So the next stretch is, your hips get very tight sitting in the chair. And so both feet on the floor, cross your right foot over your left thigh, and I already feel the stretch. And what you're going to try to do is hinging at the hips, come forward just enough so you feel the stretch in your hip. Take a breath and out. And as we say in yoga, send the breath to your hip so that you can take another breath and go just a little deeper to stretch it out, and then come back. We're going to try it again on the other side. So left foot over your left thigh. And you're sitting up straight and hinging at the hips, and you're coming forward just a little bit till you feel the stretch in your hip. Take a deep breath in. Breathe out. And that helps stretch out those really tight extensor muscles that we get. The fourth stretch is sitting straight in your chair. You're going to turn at your hip to grab with your right hand the back of the chair behind you. And then your left hand is coming to the outside of your thigh, again, with your back straight so that you're getting a little bit of a spine twist. Our low backs take a lot of pressure when we're sitting in our chairs. Take a breath and breathe out. And then let it go. The other side, same kind of thing. So you're grabbing with your left hand, your right hand comes to the outside of your thigh, you turn and out and release. Let's do that one more time. That felt really good for me. So right hand, back of the chair, left hand to the outside of the thigh, and you turn at your hip, keeping your back straight. Take a deep breath in, and as you breathe out, relax it. One more to the left. Reach back with your left hand, right hand to the outside of the thigh, and out. The last stretch I want to demonstrate for you, for those of us that have been sitting in chairs all day, is a modified downward dog. So if you've done any yoga, you know what I'm going for. So you're standing behind your chair, both feet on the floor. You're going to put your hands on the top of the chair, and you're going to bend forward at the hip and slowly walk your hands back. So you're feeling the stretch come down from your shoulder into your spine, into your hips, really stretching out that upper back, and then release. And let's try that one more time. So again, modified downward dog. You're holding on the top of your chair, you're stepping back, you're stretching and easing out that back. Sometimes I even move my hips a little bit. That gives me a little bit of spinal rotation, and that helps too. And then release. And then you feel so much better after your long day of sitting. So we've gone over a bunch of different information. I know we've gone over how to start an exercise program if you're a rookie, some coronavirus thoughts for people exercising the outdoors, and some additional exercises you can add on for fitness, and then some stretches you can do if you've been teleworking. I know the world is a weird place right now, and things are really upside down. But I believe in you, and I believe in us, and I believe we can get through this time. It won't be forever. But in the meantime, we have to stay healthy. It helps our immune systems. It helps us fight the virus. And it also helps our mood, which keeps us uplifted and in a better part of the world. So I'm happy to answer any questions or give any feedback. I know there's been some stuff coming up on chat that I haven't paid any attention to. So Eleanor, where are we?
All right, so just a couple of quick questions that have come up multiple times. So I have been answering that these links will be posted on the website. So Kathy, all of those videos and other videos you showed us, I'd ask if you just could compile those into a PDF or somewhere, and then we'll post it on the RIMG website like we showed you guys in the beginning. So you go to the RIMG website, the homepage, and you'll see an option for the COVID lectures, and it will be there. So that's where all the videos. But I think just to bring it all together, Kathy showed us all a number of really great exercises. Some of them you do for 30 seconds, some for a minute or 2 or 5, depending on how advanced you are. But I think if you basically pull together a number of these exercises into a 30-minute routine, you get a workout in. And she was saying the goal is 150 minutes of exercise a week, and you can break that up how you want, 30 minutes here, 50 minutes there, all together at once if you are doing it somewhat vigorously. But that's sort of the overall goal here.
Let me show you one more. I forgot to pull up this one thing. So at the Holy Cross Hospital website, they are offering virtual fitness classes all during this time. So I'll send out the link to this too. And so they've got everything from disease prevention, childbirth and parenting, fitness for 55 and plus as well as under. You can see there's yoga for osteoporosis, back pain. So it's also a great resource. So that'll be part of what I post as well.
Yes, and I also heard from a patient that the Rockville Community Center is offering, I think she said like 50 classes or something enormous. So if you check your memberships, you'd be surprised. Some places are probably already doing online classes that you can join from home. I know my gym closed, but my favorite instructor is doing Zoom classes from home. And I can't do them because they're during the day. So I asked her to record them and send them to me, and she does that. And it's great. So in terms of questions, yeah, more questions on where to find these online. So those will be posted. But this is a question. This is not quite related to what you talked about, but a good question. I would like to buy a Fitbit. Which do you recommend for a woman in her 70s? A basic one.
I think, you know, you can just
maybe explain what a Fitbit is, because not everyone knows what a Fitbit is.
So a Fitbit is a watch that you can wear, and the most basic ones count your steps. So they give you an idea of how many steps you're taking in a day. And the goal is to get somewhere between 7,000 and 10,000, depending on what you're trying to do in terms of your fitness. You can get really fancy with some of the Fitbits. They will give you your heart rate. They will tell you how you sleep. They will get your text messages. I mean, it's a whole span. I think just getting a basic Fitbit is a great place to start. For those of you that have any concerns in terms of, you know, your heart rate, I know my mom had AFib, so I got her a little bit more of an expensive Fitbit, and it could tell her when she had an irregular heart rhythm. So then she knew to back off. So I think just start basic and go from there.
Yeah, and I just actually had one for about 3 years. It just finally broke, and I got a new one, and I think it was somewhere between $100 and $150. So they're not super cheap, but they can motivate you for sure. So if people want to, if there are any questions that are coming in other than where to find these links, because I think we've gone over that, please feel free to submit questions. Any other sort of, maybe some tips for getting people motivated, Kathy? I find that a lot of patients are like, well, I'm just kind of at home and, you know, I have the whole day ahead of me. So exercise just sort of falls off at the end of the day. It never happens. What tips do you have any for those people?
Yeah, I do. So I have a couple. So if you're getting hungry and you're finding your snack in the afternoon, going out for a walk gets you past that point, because carbohydrates, well, their comfort foods are not our friends for our hips anyway. I can tell you I've gained a few. I turn on music, because I find if I turn on music, my mood lightens and I want to move. And even if I'm just dancing in my living room, it's starting me in the framework. I have dogs that do not let me not get outside, so that can be helpful. I have a friend that I call sometimes when I walk. So, I mean, I think you just have to, as you go back to your motivation, what motivates you? Are you social? Do you need to make a schedule? What would work for you? Do you have other thoughts on that, Eleanor?
Yeah, I think having a schedule, like if you are a beginner, you know, saying, I'm going to work out at 5 p.m. tonight, or maybe pick a time earlier in the day so you're not tired. I think, and then hold yourself accountable. I know it's hard, but I always draw a parallel between brushing your teeth and working out. You know, it's one of those things that, you know, sometimes you're not in the mood to do it, but it's important, so you do it. You know, you don't just tell yourself, well, yeah, the day went by, so I'm just not going to let that happen. You have to make it part of your routine. So that's where I would say with a beginner. And then for maybe people who are used to having a schedule or going to the gym, pick your normal routine. Like if you normally went Monday, Wednesday, Friday for a 8 a.m. class, do the same thing. You wake up, you have your clothes set out the night before, and that way it's part of the schedule.
Right.
Do you have any tips for maybe some makeshift at-home equipment that you might recommend? I saw you have a very fancy gym down there, but for those of us,
it's not fancy at all. I know, it's just big. So we, for stretch, I don't have any resistance bands, so I've been using towels, holding towels to create resistance. I lift water bottles or canned goods, or again, if you're trying to create some resistance, even holding an empty box as you move creates that and gives you some. But yeah, the whole weightlifting thing, just start with the smallest can you have and work your way up. We saw a video where some guy was like, had some, how big was the rice bag? Like 25 pounds. Who has that much rice? Seriously. But yeah, you've got a lot of stuff in your kitchen that you can just start weightlifting with.
Yeah, I would say like empty milk jugs are great. You can make them as heavy as you want. The other day, my husband and I were doing a workout, and I forgot to mention to him that it needed a weight in advance, and so he just grabbed a box of kitty litter and lifted it. It was pretty heavy. I felt kind of bad.
That's heavy. That's heavy.
Yeah, but yeah, I think you get creative, and then you can, instead of a mat, you can use a towel, like a big thick beach towel or a towel on a rug if you need a little more padding. I'm trying to think if there's other. A lot of the walking trails, I know, like I live near the Rock Creek trail. They have little workout equipment along the way that's built in. Like they have bars to do some pull-ups and some things to stretch on. So maybe
I haven't been comfortable using those right now because I don't bring my wipes with me.
Never mind. I take that back. Don't do that. But I think if we don't have any other questions, we'll post all the links that Kathy showed us, some great resources there. And then, again, we're all here. The doctors are here, the nurse practitioners, everyone is here. We're just doing virtual visits. So feel free to reach out to us if you're feeling lost or you really just, need some help with the exercise and getting motivated. Talk to us. And we're also here for other, everything else, anything from sleep issues to depression to your regular diabetes and cholesterol and high blood pressure. And a lot of people are saying things like, we're afraid to bother you. You guys must be so busy. And the truth is, we're not that busy. We had to cancel a lot of our routine visits because we're not seeing people in the office for the most part. And so our schedules are actually more open than usual. So if you've been just itching with a question or like, gosh, I should really be talking to a doctor about this, now is the time. I mean, most of us have multiple same-day visits available if you need us. And then otherwise, I would just thank Kathy for such a wonderful demonstration. It's not easy to get up there in front of a camera and do some exercise moves for everyone to see. So thank you. That was really great. Any other thoughts you want to part with?
No, just get out there and move. Anything you do is a start.
Yeah, walking, great. And then last thing, just a plug for next week. Apparently the email from Privia should go out today. So on Wednesday, Dr. Brooks, who's our one of our dermatologists, is going to do a talk on identifying some signs of skin cancers. She'll just go through some common things to look for. And then on Friday of next week, Dr. McConnon, who's our pulmonologist and sleep doctor, is going to talk about insomnia in the time of COVID. And then this will not be the email because it's the following week, but on May 4th, we are planning for another COVID update from the office with Dr. Tannenholtz and Christina Schrack, who's one of our nurse practitioners who's been really closely following all of this stuff together. They're working with we have an assigned COVID task force. So they will be giving another update for those of you who saw the first one a few weeks ago. This will just be an update on all the questions people are asking. What do I do if I get infected? If my son gets infected? What do I do about getting tested? What about the new antibody tests? All the questions that we're getting on a daily basis, they're going to package into a nice lecture. So thank you for everyone for joining. Thank you to Kathy for putting herself out there and putting together a great program. Remember, 150 minutes a week. It doesn't really matter how you get it as long as you get them in. And otherwise, have a good weekend, everyone.
Bye.
All right, bye.